Good morning. I thought I would have some coffee with you and read you a book. I'm reading these two homeschool books. This one is by Sarah MacKenzie. It's called Teaching from Rest. This one is by Paul and Gina Suarez, and it's called Homeschooling Methods. Seasoned advice on learning styles, because there are many. All right, so we are in East Texas, and it is cold. This is like our first cold day of the year. It's October. I don't even know what day it is. I think it's like the 19th. I paid my water bill today. Anyway, it's cold. It's cold. So we are slow getting up and moving around. So I'm teaching from rest. I don't know if that's what this means because I haven't started this book yet, but John's watching a movie and I'm drinking coffee and recovering from taking care of the animals in 30-degree weather. Holy moly. And Abby's on vacation, so I'm taking care of all the bunnies too. My hands were frozen. Anyway, I'm gonna read to you, and I hope that you like it. I don't know where to start. I always skip a bunch of pages at the beginning. I feel like they're just there to be skipped. And we're not going to read the foreword. Ooh, should we read the preface? I feel like we should. Then the introduction. I shouldn't have written this book. But she got a lot of flack for it. All right, we're going to start with the preface, though. When I sit down to write, sometimes I don't really know what I'm going to say. Same. I start anyway, and almost inevitably the words start coming, and I have to try to keep up with them. I should write more because that's how it works for me. As I write, I wonder about the woman who might be encouraged by my words, who may find just a small bit of hope in them. I wonder how they will bless her. I hope that they will reach her, and that is why it is especially humbling to realize that the message is actually meant for me. Isn't it usually? Usually within the preface, the writer discusses why he or she is the right person to be writing the book. In this case, I'm going to tell you why I shouldn't to be writing it. I did not see this book coming. The message within it came first as a blog series, and even then the words were given to me through my incessant pleading. I write this book as the mother of 6. Holy crap. I have 2. She's a mother of 6. 3 of her children are under the age of 2. Ooh, bless it. And she's a writer. Must not be ADHD. Not a chance. The smallest of them are identical twin boys. Wow. It seems almost paradoxical that right now, when I am more sleep deprived than I ever have been in my life, that I'm writing about rest. It's ironic. On one hand, it makes no sense, and on the other, it makes all the sense in the world. This book sprang from an insatiable thirst for the unshakable peace that God promises those who follow him. I long to live from a place of rest, teach and mother from peace rather than anxiety. Ooh, girl, you're speaking my language. I'm quite certain that God desires that for all of us, his beloved daughters called to the educating and raising up of little hearts and minds. I am just like you. I homeschooled my kids. I wash dishes, pile laundry, trip over Legos, obsess over curriculum, overthink too much about which book we should read next, and about whether I'm doing enough or doing any of it well enough. Those thoughts plague me every day, and then I have like this super judgmental family and opinionated family that judges like everything I do and don't do. It's tough thinking out of the box. It's tough being a different one. I worry, I falter. I cave into my fears and fret about what the neighbors think. I refuse to let God have his way with my kids, our family, and our homeschool, and I cling even tighter to my illusions of control. It was Andrew Kern from the CIRCE Institute. And there's like a link, CIRCEinstitute.org, who first alerted me to my anxiety-riddled ways. I was watching an interview of him on YouTube when he stopped me in my tracks. He said, the most important thing a homeschool mother can do is to teach from a state of rest. At the time I was pregnant with the twins, I had a child who was barely a year old, 3 older kids to teach, a home to run, and the idea sounded, well, absurd. Right, I thought. At this very minute, there is dinner to cook, laundry spilling into the hallway, the toddler getting into the bathroom cupboards again, the one child having a meltdown and overwriting, and a meltdown over handwriting, another making paper dolls instead of doing math, and a third shooting Nerf darts at my head. All this, and I have 5 hours of uninterrupted sleep that last night because the baby has an ear infection. That's hard to get through because it's italic text. Oh my goodness, yes. It's like, see, my family just totally judged me on my dirty house and me being chronically ill, and then all of a sudden better because I'm taking control of my suffering, and new to pulling both kids and teaching them. And there's just a lot going on. We have all the animals, and it's just a lot. And so they're like worried or concerned about our well-being because it doesn't look like, typical life, the typical school and all of that. So I understand where the concern comes from. But this paragraph let me know I'm not alone. I mean, granted, she has a shitload of kids and I have 2, but how many of you comment if you have laundry spilling over into the hallway right now, or if you have dirty dishes on the counter, or if your kid's on the couch watching a movie at 9 o'clock in the morning on a Wednesday, if that's even what day it is. Like, let me know if you're one of those, if you're one of me, the different ones that do things from a place of rest instead of anxiety. Because I used to worry about everything, like everything all the time, worry, and it literally almost killed me. And so now I have to be like, it is what it is. Just go and carry on and go with the flow. And people think I've lost my mind. I feel like this book's gonna affirm my peaceful state. Anyway, where the heck were we? Oh, the italic, okay. I didn't understand what he meant by rest. Okay. He didn't mean teach your calm children in a calm manner on a calm afternoon. He didn't even mean to teach on a full night's sleep, thank goodness. He meant that we ought to enter into God's rest and then serve him wholeheartedly, not out of anxiety, but out of love and trust. Okay, so I can tell there's a Christian writing this book, and I am like fresh out of your mainstream Christianity for a decade. I grew up like agnostic or atheist or something, and then went straight into organized religion for 10 years. And now I'm like, ooh, maybe everything they teach has an agenda and it's not 100% true. And the Bible has been interpreted 1,000 times and blah, blah, blah. So I can already tell I'm not going to resonate like 100% with this author. But I do believe in like a God, and that he does want us to have like a restful, peaceful experience here, but not like never having hardship. I think hardship is just a part of life. Pain is just a part of life. And it's, if we choose to suffer, then we're kind of choosing hell because we have free will. And then if we choose to not suffer, then we're choosing to live in a heavenly day, like a heavenly life. And so that's just what I've chosen, is peace through chaos. And I think that's what she's saying, that even though things are not perfect, you can still, instead of worrying about what you're supposed to look like and what you're supposed to be doing, you can just go with the flow and with the moment and what works. Let's see if that's what she means. Over the course of the next year, I swallowed whole anything I could find about rest. I scoured the internet and the Bible and every book that fell across my way. In the process, I discovered the work of Dr. Christopher Perrin from Classical Academic Press, who was also talking about restful teaching and learning, about Shole. I don't know if I said that right. Dr. Perrin was influential in my understanding of slow, sane education. My desire to teach my children from peace grew and grew. You can view Dr. Perrin's video on Shole at classicalacademicpress.com and learn about homeschooling groups pursuing restful learning at sholegroups.com. That's SCHOLE, Shoal groups.com. Maybe you can see it. Good vibrations. I would be remiss not to thank Andrew Kern and Dr. Perrin for their influence on my own personal state of rest. To Rebecca James, thank you for believing in this project and my ability to tackle it. Your confidence and encouragement helped me keep on. Positive words from people, especially about your dreams that seem ridiculous. Like if I told somebody, I'm going to write and publish a book, from the people closest to me, unfortunately, they would be like, "Ooh, that's not you. You shouldn't do that. Like, I really don't think you're going to be successful." And then, like, the people I don't even know, really, like, random people on my Facebook are like, "You go, girl. You can do it." Okay? And, like, if the people closest to me would be that, "You go, girl. You can do it," that positive affirmation in my life, I probably could have succeeded so much sooner in my life. So just know that your words have so much power in the lives of those around you, and just speak life and love and encouragement into people. Because look, she's like thanking this person in her book. Do you want to be thanked in my book? I will thank you if you encourage me. I owe a debt of gratitude to my beautiful friends, Pamela Barnhill and Misty Winkler, who believed in this project and offered endless help and counsel from the moment it was just a vague idea. Thanks also to Elizabeth Foss, Angela Fredericks, Megan Kunsel, Rosalie Norse, Sheila Ron, and Natalie Schroeder. You have been to me what Mary was to Elizabeth in her day of need. The insight and practical help that you gave was invaluable. I thank God every time I remember you. We ought to enter into God's rest and then serve Him wholeheartedly, not out of anxiety, but out of love and trust. And that's what this says here. And then you can replace God's name with like your children. Okay? We ought to enter our children's rest and serve them wholeheartedly, not out of anxiety, but out of love and trust. So that's like what homeschool is about, right? I pulled my kids out of school because I didn't feel like the public education was meeting their needs. They both have ADHD. They both might be on the autism spectrum, and they just have a different way of functioning and thinking growing up with me anyway. And I just want to encourage them and not make them feel bad about themselves. And then I also learned more about what they were learning in school, and I didn't want my kids to be taught lies, and I want them to be more open-minded and free thinkers. So I did this for them. Like, I obviously didn't do it for me. I could be having 8 hours of free time every day to like make money. But then I feel like they would be robots. And not like all public school children are robots. I'm not knocking you for sending your kids to public school. But if you're watching this video, probably thinking about homeschool, and it's your instinct and your intuition, and go with that. Because it's not convenient. And if you're waiting for a perfect moment, that's like waiting for the perfect moment to have kids. Like it's not there. Okay. You're never going to have enough money or time or sanity to homeschool your kids. But if you want the best for them, then that's why we're doing it. That's why I'm doing it. To Andy and my beautiful big kids, thank you for putting up with the madness. For letting me shriek with glee when the words came to me like a rush, and for giving me space to hone them when they trickled out with much time and effort. Your support of my labors has meant the world to me. I hope that all the time I disappeared to a coffee shop to write this book will be redeemed through his grace. I do everything for you, but sometimes I forget to tell you that. For the readers of my blog, amongst lovely things, all I have for you is heartfelt thanks. Your words of confidence and admonition spurred me on. You inspire and challenge me every day. The community we have built together brings me great hope and lifts me up when the days feel heavy. Here is the bare truth. Not an hour passes without the enormity of the tasks that I have taken on bringing me to my knees. This work of homeschooling and raising hearts and souls and bodies is hard. It is more than I could do in my own strength. Even so, more than anything else, I desire to teach and mother in a way that pleases God. Some days that feels like feeding the 5,000, but he is not asking me to feed the 5,000. He just wants me to bring my basket of loaves and fish and lay them at his feet. I have no business whatsoever sounding like someone who has this figured out. I'm writing this book anyway because the message keeps rattling around in my heart, and I won't be able to shake it free until I learn to embrace it. Our hearts are restless until they rest in you, O Lord. This work of homeschooling and raising hearts and souls and bodies is hard. It is more than I could do in my own strength. Here's a picture of her twin babies. All right, so that was the preface. And this video is almost 20 minutes long. So I'm going to wrap up there on this video. And I hope that you will continue reading this book with me because I'm already interested. And I'm not going to continue without you. I will post readings of this book until I finish it. We're going to finish it together. And I would love for you to comment and have a conversation and discuss this book with me and the ideas that the author brings up. All right, well, thank you for your time, and please visit rlimpressions.com to follow all my social things. Have a good day.